grip of a deadly fentanyl crisis. But is this just a rampant drug issue, or is this another form of an asymmetric warfare? Perhaps another front for discord between the United States and China? Confused? Let's untangle this for you. The complex and multifaceted issue surrounding the influx of Chinese fentanyl into the United States, it's been labeled by members of the Congress as an act of asymmetric warfare. In this context, the accusation is that China is exploiting America's opioid crisis by supplying precursor chemicals, thereby exacerbating a public health and security issue. Now, as per reports, 90% of fentanyl precursors in the United States are estimated to come from Chinese companies. Now, as per some reports, these companies send precursor chemicals to Mexican drug cartels, which then process them into fentanyl and smuggle them into the United States. In fact, at a summit in November, Chinese President Xi Jinping and his US counterpart, Joe Biden, agreed to do more to cooperate on tackling companies that manufacture these precursor chemicals to make fentanyl and also cutting on financing for the trade. This situation has led to a significant number of overdose deaths in the United States. In 2023, the overdose death rate topped 112,000 in 12 months for the first time, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and over 107,000 deaths due to fentanyl overdose in 2022, making fentanyl poisoning the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 45. China contends that the fentanyl crisis is an internal American issue, attributing it to factors such as pharmaceutical, opioid, corruption, weak US laws, and a culture that glorifies drug use. And this disagreement represents a significant challenge in the relationship between the world's two largest economies, complicating efforts to address the crisis. Now, this debate also has drawn parallels to the opium wars. Some Americans view the fentanyl issue as a form of retribution for the opium wars, during which it's believed that Western powers pumped opium into China, leading to widespread addiction and the so-called century of humiliation in China. This historical perspective, it adds a layer of complexity to the current situation, suggesting that the dynamics of drug trade and its impacts on societies are deeply intertwined with the history of international relations and conflicts. Economic reforms in China, particularly since the late 1970s, have led to rapid industrialization and growth in various sectors, including pharmaceuticals. Legal loopholes in China have facilitated the continued production and export of fentanyl precursors. While the US has a federal analog act that preemptively bans similar substances to control drugs, Chinese law it requires each substance to be banned individually. And this slow response allows manufacturers to create and export new analogs of fentanyl that are not yet illegal in either China or the United States, perpetuating this supply chain. Mexican cartels play the catalyst here. These cartels act as intermediaries, obtaining precursor chemicals from China, manufacturing fentanyl, and then smuggling it into the United States. Now, we aren't saying that this is an intentionally engineered crisis, but this just highlights the potential for fentanyl crisis to be used as a geopolitical tool and can have serious implications for the US-China relations as well. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Untangled. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.